Another thing that I think about when it comes to professionalism, but it doesn't necessarily only apply to like the workplace or school, is this idea of people's curiosity about natural hair, right? Oh my gosh, your hair looks so fun. Can I touch it? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. How do you all feel about people touching your hair?
I've never been like I've never been like against it, but like more so now because like for one I know like it took me a long time to get into style, so don't touch it because you know how long I sit in the mirror like trying to make it look like this. If you touch it, it's gonna mess up. And now what am I gonna do? I'm already outside of the house. I can't like can't go sit in the mirror and fix it again. So like, that's how I feel now.
It's really hard too. Like every time I do my hair is not a good day. So it's like if I'm wearing it out, it's because it looks nice. And it's like you put so much effort to it, and you could going like this messes the whole thing up.
Yeah.
It messes everything you went through that whole day of wash day. It messes it up. And another thing is like the questioning. It's like, oh, why do you wash your hair once a week? Why do you use all these oils? Do you think it's actually working? I don't know. I'm figuring it out too. Like it's a lot of effort, and then it's like someone's messing with my masterpiece. Like, please don't touch it. Just like you can ask me your questions. I understand you're curious. It's not the same, but it's like I put a lot of work for my crown, and you're just really messing with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I feel like for me, it kind of just grinds my gears a bit because it's like, why do you feel like you have the privilege to just like touch someone's hair? Like you're going in my space.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I don't go up to you and just like, oh my gosh, it's so straight. Like it's like stringy. Wow. Like I don't do that to you. So why do you have like this instinct that it's okay to just automatically put your hands in my hair?
Mm-hmm.
You can ask me and I'll be glad to like share with you what it's about, what my natural hair is. And if I let you, you can touch my hair.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a stranger, if I'm not really comfortable with you and you don't even ask, of course it's gonna like not rub me the right way. I get it, it's new, it's different, it's something that you've never had before, but you still gotta ask. I'm a person. I'm not like a thing that you can just go up to and pet like a dog. I'm not a dog, I'm a human being. You gotta ask me first because I have boundaries too. And so I think I have to learn to assert myself more because there are times where it's like when it's in the moment and people are just like, oh my God, wow. You don't have the time to say, wait, stop. I don't know you like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like, oh, okay, haha, it happened.
Yeah.
But I feel like I need to get better at asserting myself and saying like, no, please stop what you're doing right now. I'm not comfortable with that. Quick story, my mom is actually Mexican and my dad is Black. And so when one summer I went to Mexico with my family, you know, I'm always the odd one out because of my hair. And it was crazy because we would go to malls, restaurants, movie theaters, and people would just come up to me and touch my hair. And there was literally a little girl and her sister. Her sister picks up the little girl so she can reach in and touch my hair. And I was just like, what is happening here?
Right.
I don't know you people. I still didn't have the time to say, haha, sorry, don't do that. And that was my experience. So I definitely received a lot of that in Mexico with my family.
Yeah, so for 7th to 10th grade, I went to a private school, and it was predominantly white and Hispanic, which was a complete turnaround from my pre-K to 6th school, which was predominantly Black and Hispanic. So all the time, they'd be like, oh, can I touch your hair? And like, I'd be like, okay, sure, yeah, you can touch it. They're over here petting me. I'm like, I'm not a petting zoo. Like, you said touch it, like, that's like 2 seconds, not like, oh, this is really nice. How'd you get it like this? Oh my gosh, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just like, no. So there's this one kid, every time I'd have my hair in two, he'd be like, oh, look, it's Mickey Mouse. And I have no idea. I was like, I remember I went home and I was crying. And I was like, why is he calling me Mickey Mouse? Why not Minnie Mouse? Like, you know what I mean? And then my parents were like, they talked to my brothers, they're like, you got to tell him to stop. And he's like, it's just a joke, it's just a joke. And I guess over there, I guess I was just mad that he called me Mickey instead of Minnie. But now that I think of it, I'm like, why were you calling me that? Because my hair was in a specific way, and all the other white girls who had space buns or anything, why were they not Mickey Mouse? You know, why were they not Minnie Mouse? Why is it just me?
I feel like that second of like not having that voice like you guys talked about. Now we have the empowerment, the community to make you realize why you should have that voice. Because like, you know, I feel like it would become like you're like not being nice, you're not being polite. But like I shouldn't have to be polite if you're like not being polite by asking me to touch my hair. Like she said you had to ask me. And she said I'm not a dog. People ask to pet your dog. You have to ask them before you touch their pet. So how are you not going to ask before you touch my hair?
I think the assumption that, you know, folks think that they can have access to your bodies is incredibly problematic, right? And your hair is an extension of your body. If you can be curious, like you said, Asaya, in so many different ways, that doesn't actually require you to infringe on my personal space. I remember I had one time, like someone was questioning me about like whether or not my hair was real. And before I could even respond, she was already searching for the tracks. Like her hands were at my roots, and I was just like, "Wow, you're touching my scalp right now. Like this is crossing many lines." And it just never ceased to amaze me, like the assumptions people make. You know, thinking that, well, I'm just curious, like why are you getting so angry, right? So then on top of that, being like a Black woman or being perceived as a Black woman, right? It's like, oh, you know, the angry Black woman stereotype, right? Like now, all of a sudden, you're the one who's the aggressor when you know you're dealing with someone that's infringing on you. The other thing that I think about is, I don't know if y'all remember, this was a few years ago. There were these two women with natural hair, and I forget where they were standing, but they were standing outside with signs that said, "You can touch my hair." Did you all see that?
Yeah, that was a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, how did you feel about that?
I mean, I feel like it's point of personal preference. So if you're okay with that, I mean, that's how you feel. But personally, I wouldn't be down with that. But I think if they want people to experience natural hair and be able to like ask their questions and touch their hair, then that's their business, you know? If they're okay with that, that's their body. They can choose if they want people to touch their hair or not.
Yeah, I feel like it's the individual. You're not, but like I feel like some people take that as like a speaking for the culture kind of thing, and it's like, no, that's them. That's them. You could touch their hair. They said you could touch my hair. You could touch their hair. That does not perceive to me or her, anyone else, as them two specifically. But people see like that as like speaking for the whole culture, and like that's a problem.
Definitely. I think people see it as, you know, speaking for the culture, but also this idea of like the fact that like this idea that we're operating within this white gaze, right? And that we're here to appease the white gaze. So if someone is touching our hair, they're just curious, we should excuse that behavior, which I think that there are a number of issues wrong with that.